Hey, awkward silence. A little bit more. Slightly a bit more awkward silence. One sec. Yeah. Hi. Hello. This is Wackaflcka, obviously. You're on my YouTube channel watching my video, so it's pretty obvious, but yeah. Hi. I hope you guys are having a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, or good night, or whichever one fits. Shit like that. I'm gonna be doing a review here, or more like commentary of my gameplay as to like my thoughts as I'm going through the game. Again, same as the last one. I'm basically just gonna explain what I'm doing or like what's going through my head. This game's pretty vague in my head, so at the same time, while I'm saying what's going on in the game, I'm also gonna like say what I think I should do at this moment and why. It's like although I might not do it in the game, I'm most likely going to say what I will be doing, but sometimes I'll give other suggestions as to what I should have done. It's basically just going to be a talk over. So again, as I mentioned in my previous video, which you can check out on the blue side ganking for Twitch in the early game, I told Vivian that I'm going to come top lane after red buff. But as you can see, Pyke is appearing in the bot lane now, and I think Draven as well. So they did make it sure like they were gonna wait in the bush, and it seemed like the bot lane wanted me to come there, but again, I didn't want to because I thought it would be a waste. As again, I said before my last video, like it's not really worth it, and I would lose a lot. So I'm pathing top lane here, obviously, right? I spot Shaco. So I mean, this basically just shows already that by going top lane, you can deny these kind of things from happening as well when you're playing or you're playing Twitch. Versus something like a Shaco or someone that'll invade. Already like, hey, you can kind of like see why rotating or going to your other side quickly and then putting a ward in that bush there can be very useful. I fucked up my flash, but it worked out fine. I didn't have my ward because I used it earlier, that's the bush that I would have warded if I were to path top lane. Because it would prevent the enemy jungler from being able to enter my topside jungle without me knowing. Unless they were to path there exactly at the same time as I did there, which just so happened to be the case here. Shaco tried to cross jungle or vertical jungle me, thinking I would probably do a few camps and then he would either take the blue buff or he would just sit there and wait for me and then most likely kill me. But luckily, so I went straight from red to top and through the river. I spotted him and somehow netted us 2 kills already. Mm. As you can see, I'm playing Revitalize and Conditioning, secondary, with Bloodline as opposed to Alacrity. And then I have Coup de Grace and Triumph with Lethal Tempo. Obviously, you don't need Presence of Mind as jungle because you get mana regen while being inside the jungle, so mana isn't really an issue for jungle Twitch. So you should really never take Presence of Mind when jungling. Conditioning is a bit of a weird one here, or not conditioning, but resolve. Because I could have gone domination, but mostly because I had like a very AD heavy team, and I thought to myself that I would go Tabi and stuff like that, and Witsend, and I kind of wanted some heavy resist versus Cassidy. I opted on going for conditioning here. And while Revitalize might not be the best option because I have Pike, overall I figured that would net me some good value here, which is why I decided to go resolve over domination. That's the only thing domination really provides is some lethality on your opener and ult CD. Obviously doing a lane gank here on Mordekaiser, as you saw a few seconds ago. A bit messy, but worked out again. And at this point, depending if everyone has TP or not, and if she wants to teleport, I either shove this or I don't. This is a slow push, so if she didn't have TP, I could have pushed it maybe. This one was obvious. I thought Shaker was on Grump, and or that he was waiting in the bush, which is why that I chose the path down there. Although the second that happened, I knew that I shouldn't have done it like I did. I should have either hugged the wall or gone through the tri-brush, and then I could have smited Grump and got my HP back up. And then Lulu might have been able to rotate or something like that. Or just recall on the tower. It was just a bit greedy for me. I wanted to just end. I was hoping that he would just take Grump and then I could take Wolves at least. But that didn't happen. And I died, but it's fine. We had a pretty huge lead there, so no big problem. Obviously now it's just a bit of a fist fight. I smite the box so it won't fear us. Shaker ends up trying to pretend like he keeps over the wall, but since you can spot him on the poison, I realized that he didn't. Right, and now this is something I'm going to be releasing a video on later, but I'm basically clearing from bot side to middle. I'll elaborate on that later, but it basically just allows you to be in a better position on the map. And also since bot lane was pushing, I also have the opportunity to then gank them if possible. Pike was roaming quite a lot here, so I thought that I could just go bot lane and kill Draven. And as you can see, he lost quite a lot of money from his stacks, which is already also going to tilt him a little bit. Riven does quick in. And at this point, I'm kind of like thinking that Shaco's going to invade me or something like that. So I'm playing very cautious here. I'm trying to hug the wall a little bit so he can't get the backstabs on me as easily. And Shiv spot in bot lane, so I realize this safe. And then again, you throw your W on these, and then you auto all of them once or twice, and then you go on to attack the large one, and you can, in most cases, just one-shot the entire thing. It's mostly thanks to Dark Steel that it's as slick or clean as it is here. So basically I've cleared my bot side jungle now, so obviously the camp's top side. Riven's shoving in, meaning I can't really do anything now. I see that Shaco's pathing for his red, so I'm asking Lulu to follow me here. Because I want to take his red buff, but then they fight. So Riven's in trouble here, but I don't feel like following because it's not going to really lead to anything, and we're just going to end up getting sandwiched, which is why I'm just staying here taking the red. Because Riven is dead no matter what I do. Like there's nothing I can do here, like otherwise that would have helped the situation anymore. Which is why I just chose to stay there. And if they come for me, then it's fine. Then we'll fight. But I'm not going to leave that position because it's one of the better positions I could be in at that point. And if I were to walk up to Riven, then I would get sandwiched, as I said, and we would, both me and Lulu would be in a lot of trouble. Obviously, I like my red buffs, so I ask Lulu sometimes to come with me. Especially if I see the opportunity, like, I'm not weak. I say duo with a Lulu mid lane. It's obviously very different if you're playing by yourself and you don't have a Lulu, or someone that's able or willing to help you, which isn't something you can really expect from someone that is no idea. I'm wanting to take my blue side here. I don't really want to waste any more time. I don't really think we're going to be able to kill anyone. And I'm grading quite a lot of my money here, which is another video I'm going to make. But, everything with time. But although I have a lot of money, I don't want to leave my top camps up for any longer. So I want to put them back on cooldown, which is why I want to clear them. So at this point, I would want to take both and then recall. but I think I left wolves open here for some reason. There we go. Sorry about that. I could have took wolves there. I don't think that would have been a bad thing. But again, dragon was up. I wanted to kind of just get back on the map and then be able to contest for objectives if possible. But again, my team's not really moving at the moment, so I don't see it as an option to try and go for anything without them. Up until at least some people come. So I'm approaching this very careful, very gently. I'm approaching this situation, taking my time to make sure that I'm clear and I'm not gonna get ambushed or sandwiched by the team. Shaco's dead. Stuff's looking nice. Now we can take the red or the dragon, the red dragon. And I think I mentioned this before, but Twitch's smite is actually pretty strong because you can do the E and smite, and then you can at least do like 1300, 1400 damage if you get the timing right, which is something I think everyone should practice if you're gonna play Twitch jungle. But you basically do your E first because the animation's a bit longer, so you'll do like an auto attack E and then let it sit for like just a little like half second, and then you smite, and it's like, whoop, you know, it's like, yeah. And as I said, Tabai here. I mean, the team in general is very squishy. Only kind of tanky character is Mordekaiser. So Tabai is my choice here. I have Bloodline for another reason as well. And then with Send, with conditioning, you can see how I'm already getting 14 extra MR for free, and then 14 armor as well. Average Smite here, my ultimate. I'm feeling pretty confident in beating this Mordekaiser. I don't really put much thought into what I'm gonna do here, because I don't really like see how I would lose that fight at this point. With Witsend and Red Smite, especially this early on with the lead I've got, I would feel pretty bad if I weren't able to kill him now. Especially considering that Lulu pre-buffed me before I went in. Now just taking plates. Minions. Get some money. One thing I could have done differently here is that I could have positioned myself close to the wall, so I would have more time to react if anyone were to approach us. So I stood kind of like in the middle there. So I could have gone further up. Obviously now grading a bit, getting a bit deep into the jungle. So at this point I think we're kind of dead, but I'm still fighting, you know, use my red smite. But then our team comes out of nowhere. And it's looking good. Again, poison, you can see the Shaco, so I can kind of just see where he's going. If he went up, I could have seen that and then possibly killed him. 2k gold again, but red buff's up. I wanted a nice Shaco that. I want that red buff. And then I'm probably going to look to recall after this, but things doesn't go quite to plan. But then he gets dunked. And Pike comes to finish his job. A bit greedy. Obviously I could have recalled, but again, I don't really see it as a bad thing. I got a kill. Pike ended up getting 1000 gold, which is arguably one of the worst things that could have happened here, but again, game's looking pretty good at this point. Although if I were to like say I could have not gone for that and it would have probably been better. But again, like you can't expect to like stay on the game for the entire duration and keep your shutdown. So at one point you have to lose it. It's just about the question of who do you lose it to and how. Again, Red Smite feeling pretty confident against the Mordekaiser turret as well. I see that as Bamboo, so the second attack him, I know that the turret will aggro him as well. And now I don't feel the need to go up because my E's coming back up, my W as well. But somehow my E was up in time for me to be able to use it again. If not, I would have thrown my W into the bush and then waited until I had vision. Because otherwise I might have died somehow. So it's better to just play it safe when you're able to. And again, we're just back to getting some jungle camps and cooldown here, so because this is resources in the map, and you want to like take advantage of them. Like if I'm not doing them, the team could take them as well. Like if someone would have took bought jungle camps now, they will probably be back up before I would take them again. So that's like 300 gold almost just saying their way in, and then it comes back like not too long after. But obviously, I'm really fed at the moment. Like this, the skirmish at the start and how that turned out with me being able to both get Cassidin and Shaco was really good. I should have paid more attention here. I thought that Lulu would be closer, so I felt pretty confident just going in wherever I wanted. But obviously, it's important to look where your team is before you go in and do some plays. It's one of the things that I can work on if I was to like try and or want to try and improve on something. It's my patience and be a bit more considerate as to the situations and what's going on in the game. Because obviously that's not a play that was very good. Like after that first initial kill that we got and me chasing Shaco into the bush there, and like obviously I could have realized pretty easily that Lulu was not with me, and then that would have ended very differently, and we would have secured Drake by now, and maybe even killed them. So that was obviously a bad play by me. I'm wanting to check Drake here, but not wanting to take any fights until Lulu comes. So obviously, I'm just waiting for them to say with Mordekaiser. So I feel like this is something I can do in the meantime. But he ends up just running away. We're all getting together now. Enemy team wants contest Drake. I see the red buff, and I want the red buff. This is something I do all the time. Like I could probably go for the fight here, but I think it's better to just have the red buff and then stack your advantages. And one of the things that tell you is just like don't go with them. Like we can kill them now. Like just don't go. Just stay with me and we'll kill them. If the entire team dies, like it's fine. We'll kill them. Just don't die with it. Like don't die with them. Just stay with me. Right. I'm hoping Shaco doesn't have his thing there. I know the box there, obviously, but I'm still walking into it. This would have obviously been a very good time to try and go for Baron, but it's not happened yet, so there's not really much to do. Now it's kind of just a waiting game. Don't want to throw anything too much. There's nothing to fight for at the moment. And I have the gold debuff for minions now, so ideally I don't have to take the minions and I should let them go to someone else. Although the XP is still nice. Right, I have my red smite here, obviously quite a lot of damage with my Tiamat, Wit's End and Hurricane. And then I also have 10 stacks on my Dark Seal, which is giving me quite a lot of AP at the moment. So another thing with Revitalize as well, something that's I think is pretty nice with it, is that you also get the healing from your jungle item while in the jungle and doing camps, and that's something that Revitalize also affects. So your sustain in the jungle is actually a little bit better with the item. So I mean, as you can see now, like the enemy team is just basically destroying it, right? Like now I'm just going around collecting jungle camps, waiting for the next thing to happen. Baron is obviously the play looking at the map here now. But as it stands, I don't really seem to be agreeing with that. But it's obviously something I'm thinking right now. Like when I respawn right now, we should try and go for Baron. There's no Drakes up. We've taken quite a lot of the towers. But to like go for any more towers now at this point with the lead that we have, or I have, isn't really needed. Because we can't just go straight for Baron and then it'll basically be over. Right? I mean the game is over, but you want to try and close the game as fast as possible so you can queue up again and get that juicy LP, you know? Yeah, so I'm looking at Baron with my cursor. As you can see, Revital is already at 800 something, and then you had 600 on the other one. So that's around 1400 by now in additional shields and heals that I've received through that rune. And again, it's something I think Taste of Blood would have been worse at. It's also why I went Bloodline here, because I have Revitalize, so the one thing about Pike is that his ultimate goes through the shield. But also, the other reason I took Bloodline here, and for Revitalize, is that I looked at the team and I looked at our team comp and I thought to myself, are they going to be building any healing reduction? And my answer to that was that no. Possibly Mordekaiser can build Bramble, but other than that, I don't really think anyone on the team will build any healing reduction. Which is why I opted to go for Bloodline here, combined with Revitalize. Because as I mentioned in my other video about the equilibrium curve and your effective health, is that lifesteal is also another part of effective health. Because you have your HP, your armor, your MR, which adds to a certain value, and then your lifesteal also adds to your effective health after. But then obviously having a decent health pool so you can soak the damage and then get it back after, it would obviously be better. Right now it's just a bit of a waiting game here. Trying to just get rid of people, bait them in. We have vision control, so just trying to secure the Baron. But I don't. Trolled my smite there. But again, I don't really care. Like, it's fine. That was my bad. Obviously, I could have smited that a lot better or done it better. But I wasn't really paying attention. Like, I'm like, this game is done, you know? It doesn't matter. Right. I've been too busy talking, but like, something I said earlier in this game is that I didn't want to do the Baron at that point. I didn't feel comfortable that we were able to take it because I felt that they would be able to steal it. It's something I didn't pay attention to now while watching the video, but it's something that I had in mind when I played the game. Because I felt like we can kill them pretty easily, so like being able to take them out and then take Baron, like picking off Shake or something like that, is like what I ideally wanted to do here. But the team wanted to do Baron, and I was kind of like in the carefree mode at the moment as to just like, whatever, just do it and then just be done with this game, you know, go next. Not in like a negative way, just like it doesn't really matter, you know, like game's done. Just let's go end it and go next. I went for Riftmaker here. Other options I could have probably gone for is Shield Bow, but I didn't really like the idea of Shield Bow against Pike. I don't really seer as needed. I'm a big fan of Riftmaker, to be honest, with 98 tech. Obviously, if I had shield bow there, it wouldn't have really made much of a difference. The lifesteal might have, but the shield I don't think would have. I'm getting Spirit Visage here because I want to get additional shielding and healing. Healing! Additional healing. But it doesn't really get that far. I just thought it'd be a cool thing. Like, you can see my damage is more than enough to, like, obliterate their entire team. They don't really have any kind of defensive stats besides the Mordekaiser, so I think my damage is more than enough here. And then we grab that quick win. I'm not sure if I said a lot of useful things here, but you can kind of like just get the idea of everything here, right? Like the blue side start, how you should kind of play objectives and what you should be looking at. Like the Baron, it's better to pick someone off at that point and then try to take it after. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this quick gameplay and thoughts. Although some of the thoughts that I said now, it's not as good as the ones I had in the game, because the Baron play I was oblivious to now, because I didn't pay as much attention to that specific moment. But this was just basically a fiesta. Like, it was just over. Like, the second Shaco and Kassadin died, it was just GG, you know? But yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys continue to have a good night, or good morning, or good evening, or, you know, whichever one fits. I'm gonna head to bed now, so sleep well, and peace. This has been Wackaflcka with a YouTube video. Peace.